Okay, so property's been on the market for 3 months, 6 months with another real estate agent. They list with us, and from list to sell 24 hours. What happens behind the scenes? We're going to talk about it right now.
Morning.
Good morning, Zanthany. How are you?
Yeah, I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Very good, thanks. How's your dress going from last night? The correction you had done on it. Good?
Yeah, good. Hopefully it will fit when it's returned to me tomorrow. Yeah.
Fun. Hey, what we're doing today, guys and girls, is we thought we're going to have a talk about behind the scenes at Novak. What happens with Team Novak, the media agencies, Anthony, selling agents, listing agents. Just that 24 hours is all we're going to talk about, because it's violent what goes on in such a short amount of time, and effective. And we're going to use Irritable in Newport that we've just sold. What number was it?
Number 30. 30 Irritable Road in Newport.
30 Irritable. So the story goes, the owner's like, I've been with an agent, not sold, lost faith in the market, lost faith in their property, aware of Lisa Novak's reputation of the cleanup when agents don't sell, looking at her stories on her social, engage Lisa. Lisa wins their trust and says, okay, we can do this. And the client's like, really? Am I just talking to another salesperson? Signs with Lisa. Now, you underpin Lisa.
I do. I consider myself as like a to-the-market concierge. So as soon as an agreement is signed, Lisa and Michael generally hand that over to me, and I do all of the legwork ready to get that property as a listing on sale. And typically, when push comes to shove, we can do this within 24 hours. So there's fast, and then there's unicorn fast, which is where I come in riding that unicorn like a hoon.
I love that. I love that comment, Zanthony, the hoonicorn, a hoon and a unicorn. So yeah. This is really, really impressive, because it's a success story of, people go, of course, you can sell any property quickly, and, if it's priced right, if it's sold cheap, yes, that's good. But it's not. This was on the market for a very, very long time with an agent, a local agent to Newport. We're 5 suburbs away from Newport. Lisa convinces the owners that we have the strategy and the tools and methods to get the property sold. It lands in your lap. Now, what's the first thing? So, an agreement is when an owner signs up with us and says, "Okay, go for gold." So, what happens? What's the first thing that happens when it comes to you?
The first thing, I have a mild freak out, because I'm like, oh my gosh, working with a tight timeline. No, but first things first, I generally, I'll introduce myself to the owners, typically via WhatsApp, which is what we use as our preferred method of communication, and then line all of the ducks up in a row, ready to list it live. So in terms of housing, it would be getting a pest and building inspection report done very quickly, lining up photography. Yeah, lining up photography. So for this particular property, because it was such a beautiful house and had such a lovely facade, we really wanted to capitalize on that. So a day shoot, and then going back that evening for a dusk twilight shoot as well. And the benefit of a dusk twilight shoot is it makes all of the colors seem a lot warmer, a lot richer, and you just get a softness to the sky. And then with the media team, when you drop in even more pinks in the sky, it really does just pop.
So in our office, we've got a media agency that will do all that media work, digital, or virtual furniture. They will do the posting, the social posting, They will do any amendments to photos that we need. And they're an internal team of three beautiful ladies and very experienced. So you've got good tools around you. I do have to say, the WhatsApp group's a killer because you're on it, and I know I love watching Zanthany with our clients on a WhatsApp group because you don't know what's going to come out of your mouth, and it's always with best intentions, and it's always it's a fireball when you start getting your 24 hours going with clients, and they must have their heads spinning because the photos are dropping in, the floor plans dropping in, all the comments are dropping in,
boom. Yeah.
Building inspection dropping in. Then all the media stuff dropping in.
Photos are done. Then we need to rebrand the floor plan because we do have a very particular style of floor plans that we use here in Novak as well. So completely rebranding that, making sure it's correct. And then in the back end as well, I also need to start working on the actual listing itself. So what appears online, what pushes out to realestate.com and the other platforms as well.
And this is, the people that you're using work differently with us, with you, with Lisa, than they do with anyone else. They know the expectation and the bar's higher. The photographers know they're going to go back if they haven't absolutely nailed it. We don't take a 7 or 8 out of 10. It's got to be 10. They know it's got to come back fast within hours of shooting so we can actually get it to market fast. The building inspector's the same principles. He knows that he can't just deliver an inspection 3 days later saying, yes, this is the building inspection. He will have that to us same day. So everyone that's around Zanthany, Lisa, Team Novak is set up for speed and that perfect precision. It's all going to tie back to the question is, how does this tie back to a successful sale? This integral 24 hours. You would think, look, the when it wasn't sold, the outgoing agent did photos. How can you do better? You would think, they did a floor plan. How can you do better? You would think they did some form of social advertising or realestate.com advertising. How can we do better? So it's interesting to actually look at the polar differences between any one of those items, and then that all sums up to a successful sale. What's Lisa got to say?
So Lisa, perfection with marketing is a not negotiable. As soon as you hit something live, you want it to be perfect from the first instance. You don't want to launch something half-assed. That you only have a split second to make a first impression, and you want that to be really good, and that's up to the job of the marketing. And clearly we did such a good job with this particular campaign because it sold after the first open. It was...
So what do the clients say when they've had it on the market before, experienced what normally would take a week or two, all of that to happen within 24 hours? Like, they must be shocked.
I definitely think so. And from what the vendors had said is they were just very impressed, not only with Lisa and myself, but the whole Novak team and the agency itself, given our ruthless communication, just finger on the pulse and keeping them updated throughout every single step of the way, from the introduction to planning photos, to getting the photos in, to updating them on the floor plan, to showing them the listing preview, to looping them in with absolutely everything that is pertinent to getting their property on sale. We are very good with communication and keeping them in the loop as well. This is their baby that's going to the market effectively. So you would want to know exactly what's going on behind the scenes. And I think too much communication is better than no communication at all. If you don't communicate, then you lose that trust, and that's effectively what would have happened with the previous listing.
Because they must have freaked from signing, okay, let's go, let's get some buyers through, to witnessing this first 24 hours. Even in that first 24 hours, Anthony, you coordinated the team to have a look through, which was eight salespeople walking through the property. The owner would be like, how is all this happening?
So this is what we call a sales caravan to anybody watching. When we do have a new listing coming to the market, every Monday, all of the sales agents go to site visit, get a lay of the land. It helps with referring that property to their clients as well. And on that, they post it to their respective social media accounts as well, which is what we're known for, social media marketing and marketing in general. So a sales caravan is such an important strategy and tool that we possess to really broadcasting that property to our wider audience. And so Lisa's saying, on that note, on social media, the raw social media videos are filmed a particular way that's appealing, however, to that particular audience.
Because there was a bit of a jab yesterday from another real estate agent to one of our clients saying they didn't feel the video on social media was professional. But for social media, for TikTok, for example, that's the way, or for Instagram, it's different again. And for LinkedIn, it's different again. It's different content for different channels. And we're tailoring within this 24 hours, we're tailoring all this different multimedia channels, all this different content for these multimedia channels. It's a lot.
There really are a lot of boxes to tick off and a lot of hurdles to overcome to get that listing live. And I don't really think people are aware of exactly what goes on behind the scenes to getting that property. It's not just a matter of putting a picture up and saying for sale. There are a lot of moving pieces.
And the team is, from every single point, like that takes years. And it's great to just have a building inspector that's coming back with an inspection to provide buyers really, really quickly. But to build all these people layer upon layer upon layer, and then to see that full force of what is happening in 24 hours, Lisa's got a lot to say this morning.
I think, Lisa's very passionate about this particular story. It's talking about our team and how efficient we are, how effective we are. So thank you, Lisa. Of course, she has a lot to say. So nothing we do in the industry is normal. Nothing is possible without this insane team, powerhouses. And I couldn't have said it better myself, really. And there's another one that's popped in. An agent that says those videos aren't professional on socials is usually not on social media.
And Lisa's even got another one again.
The team is insane, mind-blowing. You've never seen anything like it. Hammering them through.
Now, this is a great story, because if you've just tuned in, what happens in 24 hours when selling with us, when selling with Lisa Novak, when selling with Novak, when having Zanthany there help, Michael Sillage, the whole team around us, the media agency, everyone. We're talking about what happens in that 24 hours, the detail that happens. Most story, and people don't see this story or hear this story from the inside out, from beginning to end. The end's even more beautiful. Sold within the first open house.
Yes.
A buyer came through, 10 people came, more, 15 people came through in a property that had been on the market for 3 months prior with another agent. Offer accepted, property sold. Now, can you imagine being in the owner's shoes, from sitting on the couch talking to your wife going, I can't believe no one wants to buy my place. Like, what do we do now? It's been 3, 4, 5, 6 months. To, let's call that chick called Lisa Novak, to having a chat. It sounds right what she's saying. Let's give her a go. It's not going to cost us anything. That's a big one.
That is a big one. Absolutely big one. That's the sweetener, the little hook.
It's for free. You know what I mean? So who works for free these days? Agents don't even work for free these days. They want you to cut a check for 5 or 10 grand before you even start. It's a lot of money. Yeah, so they're thinking this Lisa's going to do this all for free. She sounds confident, sounds logical what she's saying, to sitting on the couch a week later going, I can't believe we're sold.
it would be a lot to process and overcome, that's for sure, after being stale for so long and just completely losing faith and trust in your house, let alone the real estate market and the industry itself to being sold. It would take a while to process. It would rattle you and then be like, okay, well, what are my next steps? What do we do now? We need to find somewhere to live.
Concluding, I want to say I'm so proud. And the people behind the scenes and what they do to make the dream happen for buyers and for sellers, and even with rentals, with managing of properties and leasing of properties. You're a great example of it, of what happens. That's just in one day of your life, of what you've contributed and what you've done with someone's home and sale and the work that you've done. There's another 5 days a week, 6, 7, where you're doing this great work. So well done to you.
Thank you.
And
I've loved every moment. And if you want something to come on the market very quick, this is where I'll advertise the Novak and our team here. If you want to get to the market really quickly, professionally, and just to have really great rapport with your agents, then come along, drop us a line. We'd be happy to help.
The strategy is fast, furious, precise, superior, fun. And it works. So it's quite unique, where this traditionally would have taken 2 weeks to get on the market, and traditionally would have taken 4 weeks to sell, and it was reduced all the way down to 24 hours with all of that workload. So well done. And to Michael, there's people like Michael Silich, who deals in Lisa's team, when a buyer is introduced to the property, Michael will carry that buyer through the negotiation to exchange to settlement. He just does a phenomenal job, seamless, an absolute gentleman in the industry. So there's just, look, we can't thank everyone, and particularly I'll thank you today on what you do. And guys and girls, if you want to sell, if you have any friends or family that want to sell,
we are fast, we are furious, and we are relentless.
You know what we now do within 24 hours. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. Take care. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks, Mark.
All right. Have a great day, everyone. Cheers. Bye.